Hi everyone, welcome to the studio. I'm Lindy Witten. I'm just going to give you a tour of the studio today. A few people have asked me where I work, and I'm down here in Port Ewan in Tasmania, the furthest south state in Australia. And this is the view outside my studio window. So it's a pretty fabulous spot to live in, our house over there. So I'm nice and close to the house, and I can feel like I'm not deserting my husband when I spend all day in here. So it's a repurposed double garage, and I'll give you a little tour of it and show you how I work. Here we go, in through the sliding doors, and I've got another set of triple windows there that are a double slider, so I can really get the breeze coming through in summer. This is just sort of a nice little entrance area. Over here is where I do my painting. So I've got a big setup there. Over here are some lovely drawers that I bought from a local hardware store, and that is full of boxes of pastels. Terry Art Ludwig's, Blue Earths. In here I've got some Mount Visions, some mixed boxes there, and so on. It goes all the way down. Jack Richardson, which I love, and unisons. Quite a few boxes of unisons in there. I have others as well, but all those drawers are full of pastels. Then I have some rolling stock here. This little green one I made myself years and years ago, and it just folds the flap down, and it means I can move it around where I want to. I've got a nice big easel for doing the pastels on, but I've also got a new artistic easel that will rotate round so I can easily do the edges. It will also hold two small canvases. I'm going to adapt it so I can put pastels on there if I want to, but I actually prefer having one for the acrylics, one for the pastels. I've got another rolling bench here with a whole lot of acrylic paints and so on it. So that's a really great storage area, and that's on wheels as well. So both of those can push right back if I want to. So that's my main painting area. Over there behind that big white board is a storage area for canvases and frames and so on. I've got a lovely central workbench there, which is actually the carcass down here is my brother's old kitchen cabinets, which he gave me. And then I've raised it up a little bit higher and put some storage under there for pastels. On top of it, that's my video area when I'm doing a little flat quick demo for you. And over here I've got paper drawers. I bought this at the local resource recycling centre for $30. That's on wheels as well. And I made these. Oh, let's move that painting out of the way. I made those paper drawers a long time ago. They used to stack on top of each other in my living room. But they're on wheels as well. And in between, I have a little cold press laminator. So the leaves will flap down and I can do some printing there as well. So that's my printing setup. The other side of that central cabinet is just a cabinet that was in here at the old garage when we bought the house, and I just painted it white, and that stores a whole lot of my eco printing bits and pieces. Over here I've got a nice big mat cutter and some pieces of glass over here. That's for doing my printmaking. And then underneath that bench I've got a whole lot of supplies for eco printing. Over on this edge of it I do framing and matting up, but also I can clear that whole bench off and use it for rolling out and rolling up my eco printing. I have dye buckets down here. I plumbed in a little sink myself. It has a tap and it's only cold water, and it's not plumbed to the wastewater. I collect the water in a bucket in the sink, and there's another big one underneath, so that I can let the acrylic emulsions that are when I wash up from the acrylics sink down, and then I can dispose of those properly, and I can just get rid of the water that comes to the top. Another big cupboard bookshelf that was in here when we moved in, and I store all my dyes and saucepans and so on for eco printing there. So it's a double garage space. You can see it's lined out. So I put those two doors in and this big window. I'm really telling you all this so you can see that you don't have to spend a fortune on a studio. So they were from a recycling centre as well. I put them in with help from my brother-in-law. All the studio is lined out with just plain panels of I can't think of the word. It's when you laminate wood together. Anyway, panels of laminated wood. And I did that all myself. I even tried to box in the big silver aluminium or steel struts. It's not a perfect job, but it makes it warmer and it keeps out, spiders and so on. Over there, you can see my first attempt at a sculpture. So I wanted to show you all this so that you can see I'm not just a pastelist. I do all sorts of things. I do printmaking, I do acrylics, I do pastels, and now I've ventured out into this printmaking. You can see up here what that one looks like in the dark because it's actually a lamp. So I have lots of space in here and I've set it up, lots of light over in this area. I've set myself up with a daylight. I don't have hardwired electricity in here, so I've run 2 power cords across the driveway, and it's enough to give me my daylight light there, another daylight light up on the ceiling, and to run various things I use for eco printing. So the floor is pretty grotty. It was cement and it got very cold, so I just got some old bits of carpet from my recycling centre, and they're down for the moment while I think what I will do with the floor. So this whole thing has taken me 18 months to get up, and I've been working in it since since I lined it out. I've been working in it and just modifying it as I go to get it how I want. It's pretty comfortable to work in, and it gives me a lot of defined areas for all the different things that I do. And I've made myself quite a bit of hanging space to store some of the paintings that are not in exhibitions or haven't sold or that I'm currently working on, and just some of my paintings from earlier years that I want to keep, just to remind me how far I've come. So that's my studio tour. I hope you enjoyed it and you can see the various things I'm engaged in, and how you don't have to spend a fortune on a studio. If you've got some spare space, just make it comfortable, lay it out in the way that you like to work. Don't spend a fortune unless you've got a fortune, which I don't have. And just take your time doing it. So as you work in the environment, you'll start to see what you need and what you would like to change, and then you can make those changes as you go. I'm pretty comfortable here, and I really do enjoy working here, just looking out at the ever-changing river view and enjoying being in the country by the river, being surrounded by nature. Next time I will have a demonstration video for you. I just didn't have a lot of time this week for various exhibitions and so on that's going on. So I'll catch up with you next time. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe if you'd like to get to follow me. Make a comment if you've got a question about the studio or how I do things. Thanks for joining me again. See you next time. Bye for now.